What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Just go ahead and do it with me. Take a deep breath in, deep breath out. The patch has been live now at the time that I'm recording this for about 12 hours or so. It's midnight where I'm at. And amidst all the craziness, I hope to be able to bring you a little bit of a ray of light in the form of Hulk. We knew there was some buffs coming to Hulk. I was very excited to kind of see how they would play out. And I am very happy to report that this is one very small area of the patch that they did not completely screw up. They tweaked the character in what seemed like a very minor way, but it has a huge impact in his usefulness, and I'll kind of explain all that here in a second. They did increase his prestige. In fact, he had the largest bump out of any of the characters. Went from, I believe it was 88 out of 90 all the way up to 60, so he jumped 28 spots. But even so, I mean, still 60 out of 90 is still pretty terrible. So you're not gonna see people ranking him up for prestige sake, which was a little bit confusing. I mean, if you're gonna still keep him in the bottom third, why have such a big increase? I don't know. Not gonna get into all that. Uh, the biggest thing I think I was excited for, just kind of initially, was the fact that they finally had changed the animation for his S1, which I know that seems like such a petty and foolish thing, but Hulk to me is he's such a cool character in the Marvel universe, and for that to be his S1, just a little headbutt, it just didn't seem right. I don't know. It seemed kind of below him. I really felt like it needed to be something much more grand. And I think that they kind of hit the mark with the new animations. To be totally honest, it looks like they basically just reskinned the Red Hulk's S2. The Red Hulk reaches down, he grabs a portion of the ground and throws it. It's on fire. Essentially, that is what Hulk is doing with his S1. He's reaching down, grabbing a rock that's not on fire and throwing it. But like I said, anything's better than that stupid headbutt. Fortunately, A-Bomb is going to continue the mantle and carry on the tradition of the stupid headbutt in the game. So anyway, getting back to the more important changes that were made. Um, they added kind of a very similar feeling to like a Ronin, Daredevil, Black Bolt stun chance on all of Hulk's specials, which right now it's at 85%, which feels like it's about right. There were a couple times, and you'll see him in the gameplay here against Maestro, where I did try to do an S1 and did not get the stun off. But essentially, what this does is, with such a high chance to have a stun, you can really incorporate that into your gameplay and use it to control the enemy. And what I mean by control is, having the ability, and you'll see it right here, to push him, from his S1 into his S2. So his S1 is much more difficult to deal with, and I'm sorry it froze right there. But I had the ability to control, when the enemy was going to be able to use their special, and pushed him into an S2. I think right here is probably one of the few times I tried the special there, and was unsuccessful to get the stun off. But you'll see me use it in several other times here throughout the game. And like I said, that is for all specials. I'm basically strictly just using the S1 here so you can see the new animation. But whenever you do the Thunderclap with his S2, or you do the full S3, they all carry the same 85% chance to stun, which is really, really cool. The other aspect that they changed, and I'm so glad that they did, is in the past, pre-patch, the only time you could get a Fury buff on Hulk is when you were receiving damage, which just never felt right to me. But now they fixed that, so thankfully they fixed it. You can stack a Fury buff. When you're getting attacked, you can get a Fury, and when you are attacking, you can get a Fury buff. And like I said, those two things do stack. In addition to that, they actually added an additional Fury that you get when you hit 25%. Think of it like an Ultron, his second regen. When he hits 25%, this thing triggers. Similar thing to Hulk, except it's not a regen, it's a what they called in the patch notes a massive Fury buff, which there's a little animation that'll pop up and it'll say, I think it says time to smash. I'm trying to remember off the top of my head. I've seen it a couple times. Time to smash, or maybe it says Hulk smash. But anyway, that's signifying that you have hit 25% health, and for the next 8 seconds, you have an additional Fury effect, which if you are in the middle of being hit, you can add a second Fury attack on top of that. And if you can immediately go in and start to do damage, you have the chance to add a third Fury effect on top of that, which is really important, not for the sake of doing more damage, but whenever you stun an opponent, if you have for each Fury effect that you have active on Hulk, you actually will stun the enemy for an additional full second. So the standard stun is 2.1 seconds. Let's say you've just got one Fury effect, that's going to bump that up to 3.1 seconds. So Hulk, when he's getting down, to his very last small pool of health, not only does his passive kick in and he's doing a lot more damage, but he's also going to get that massive Fury buff that kicks in, which, to be honest, I feel personally like that's how it should have been from the very beginning. I feel like they really hit the nail on the head here with Hulk. He feels just right. He feels as powerful as he should be. I'm very happy with the changes. One thing you may have noticed in the background, and this has nothing to do with Hulk, I am running against Abomination. This is the last chapter in the Road to the Labyrinth of Legend. This is the second fight after you get through the Superior Iron Man. And I enjoy fighting this A-Bomb with Hulk because it's a long fight. And obviously Hulk is immune to the poison that A-Bomb puts on. But if you have noticed, which I'm sure you have, they ninja nerf buffed A-Bomb's S2 animation. Look at that. I had no idea that they were doing that. They had patch notes for Abomination, and they mentioned, stuff that had to do with his poison effects. Why they didn't mention this makes no sense to me. I don't know if this was maybe something that, it feels like maybe a very last second change. But I think it's a cool S2. I'm glad that they moved the Thunderclap over to Hulk. I feel like that's the character that should have the Thunderclap. But it's got a little bit of like a Juggernaut S1 smashing the ground mixed in with almost like a Quake S2. When she lunges forward and punches, he does both of those things, which he caught me off guard. I think maybe like the second or third time he did it. I just wasn't ready for how far that initial ground pound, quote unquote, reaches, and he caught me there. And thankfully, didn't kill me. I'm kind of in the sweet spot for using Hulk. My passive ability is basically at his max right now, and I am doing just tons of damage because of that. Do keep in mind this is a rank 4 Hulk. If this was a rank 5 Hulk, yeah, I can only imagine the amount of damage I'd be putting out. And basically, I think I'm running. Well, I say with a crit team, but I don't really know what that means post-patch, if that's really kind of on the same level as what we're used to. But I was able there to kind of go on a really long streak, 113, to finish out the fight. And I gotta say, that was a lot of fun. I am really looking forward to being able to take him up to 550. Lots of craziness going on the forums right now. I agree with most of it. This is probably a little bit further than I thought they were going to take the nerfs, and it wouldn't be I wouldn't be surprised if they don't walk that back a little bit here in the next couple days. So just sit tight, don't light your hair on fire just yet. Let's see what Kabam does. Alright, and that will just about wrap everything up. I appreciate you guys watching the video. As always, really, I do appreciate the support. It means a lot to me. I hope the videos are enjoyable to you. If you have any comments or suggestions, please leave those down below. As always, you can hit me up on Twitter. I'm available there at any time. Happy to answer any questions I can. Alright, until the next video, guys, I will see you then. Have a great day. Bye-bye.